Hello! Welcome to the first open mic situation at Lausitzer Platz! Yeah, so this is made by the neighborhood for the neighborhood, and we just came together to share poetry. And so the only rules we got is like, do whatever you want, perform whatever you want. You can dance, you can sing, you can read poems, you can read just a text. So just have fun, and let's start with Dave. He's the first one, come on.
So I don't ordinarily write or read poems because I wrote this one poem and it caused a lot of problems. So I really believe in the power of poetry, and I want to dedicate this to my friend Sophie. Neanamorphic, she'll offer you three choices, each more unplausible than its predella. Disparity reigns, disclarity feigns, glolalalia, hurrah for gobbles, garbles, gabbles, and gavels. The intention unravels. Her spiracula yawns, labrocious, arranged like martyred peasants on Dracula's lawns. Atrocious, your butchered attempts at divining her meaning are seeming ill-spent, hell-bent on gentacular seemings. The coke timer reaches nadir, cigarette glow prismed by snit of tapir. A jumentous occasion of ecleptitude. The radiator clacks with his wand on murders, executions, and bonds. The quiz is over, the answers derivered, the results as yet unclear. Next up is Zoe.
So, okay, I got like a poem from school. I had to write it for school, and because we had like a poetry slam there. So it's in German, I hope that's not a problem. So it's about human beings. Okay. 23.05.2024. Wir sollen einen Text schreiben über den Menschen. Erst noch den schlechtesten Text überhaupt, dann und jetzt den besten, den wir nur können. Ja toll, denke ich. Kenne ich, mag ich, kann ich. Ein Mensch, das bin doch ich. Ich schreibe los, bin Feuer und Flamme, kaum zu bremsen, Schreibkrampf schon in Sicht. Ich denke, jaha, der Mensch ist blöd. Der Mensch nervt mich. Was kann der Mensch schon? Der Mensch baut, baut, baut und zerstört, zerschlägt, zerreißt. Warum will er immer weiter? Warum hört er nicht einmal damit auf? Ich schreibe, hallo? Sag mal, tickt der noch ganz richtig? Baut Schlösser und Kraftwerke, Atombomben und Schusswaffen. Dann aber doch noch paar süße Kuscheltiere, sind ja nicht ganz so bös. Dann aber so viele Waffen, dass statista.de kaum noch hinterherkommt mit den Zahlen. Überall sind Krisen, die Welt steht in Flammen. Der Mensch führt Krieg und hört niemals damit auf. Der Mensch baut, baut, baut und zerstört, zerschlägt, zerreißt. Der Mensch denkt, er wüsste alles, denkt, er könne alles, sei Herr von sich und Herr von allem, hält sich für den Erschaffer und Träger der Krone der Schöpfung. Ein Intelligenzwesen, ein angebliches Vernunftwesen. Ich würde sagen, ein Mängelkompensator vom Feinsten. Ein stolzer Versager. Denkt, er hat die Macht, denkt, er ist die Macht. Eine Büchse der Pandora, alles Schlechte droht zu entweichen, alles Übel wird ihn zerreißen. Dafür wird der Mensch nur noch sorgen. Man sagt, der Mensch ist so toll, so intelligent, so weise und ach so wunderbar. Eine schöne Illusion baut man sich da auf. Und alles in mir schreit, nein, der Mensch ist laut, eingebildet und stinkt. Er ist vollkommen verblendet von sich und von allem, was ihn umgibt. Völlig realitätsfern und desorientiert. Schwingt sich aufs hohe Ross und trampelt alles nieder. Tiere und Pflanzen, sie alle sind dem Untergang geweiht. Ebenso wie der Mensch selbst, denn er gräbt sich sein eigenes Grab. Eine Woche ist vorüber, um meine Zeit hinüber. Noch 12 Stunden verbleiben. Ich muss jetzt den Text vortragen. Ich habe einen Text geschrieben und ich habe diesen Text gelesen. Und jetzt frage, wieso so viel Hass? Wir sind doch alles Menschen. Wir wissen alle darüber Bescheid, was die Menschheit tat und noch tun wird. bestimmt noch ganz viel Gutes. Dennoch mögen wir uns, dennoch lieben wir uns selbst. Leben wir in einer Illusion? Wie kann die Menschheit noch existieren, wenn sie weiß, was sie alles getan hat? Vielleicht sind wir Menschen auch gar nicht so böse. Vielleicht sind wir einfach Wesen, die Menschen, die existieren und als Gruppe können sie wohl nicht anders als bauen, bauen, bauen und zerstören, zerschlagen und zerreißen. Dennoch sind sie schöne Wesen, Wesen voller Liebe, können ganz vieles, zum Beispiel diesen Text schreiben. Okay, das war's. Okay, the next one is Rio. Please come.
Rio's gonna tell us a joke.
2 Ameisen krabbeln ins Popoloch, sagt die eine zum anderen. Achtung, gleich kommt die U-Bahn. Was ist so groß und krabbelt über Berg und Tal?
Du kannst es sagen.
Eine Mandarine.
Vielen Dank, Rio. Das war toll. Super witzig. Dankeschön. Next we have Emmy. Emmy is next.
One second. I have 2 poems for you today. There's one I have never performed before, so I don't know, feel honored or something. It's a little sad, so sorry about that. I am a dog, I am a dog, I am a dog. I'm not cute, I bite and I bark and I growl and I will tear you apart. My fur is matted, I've been hurt more times than scars can count. My ribs are poking through my skin and I smell of rot. I am a dog, I am a dog, I am a dog. I was never the desired puppy dressed up in pretty collars and bows. I've only ever been a beast. A tool, something to use for your advancement and to be cast out when I fail to function. I am a dog, I am a dog, I am a dog. I will do anything for love. I will wait by the road for you until I starve. I will come for cuddles and scratches after you hit and neglect me. I will lick my wounds so you can pet the scars before you rip them open again and again and again. I am a dog, I am a dog, I am a dog. I am feral. Foam is dripping off my snout as I expose my teeth. I'm nothing but a rabid dog running through the night, sinking deeper and deeper into snow that won't stop falling. I am a dog, I am a dog, I am a dog. You could never hurt me enough for me to turn away. If you show me kindness, I will be yours forever. I will come back to you with my hind legs broken, crawling on the floor and pulling myself forward just for you to step on me and shatter what's left from my paws. I am a dog, I am a dog, I am a dog. I will let you put me in a muzzle and leash. I will be whatever you need me to so I can say, I am a dog, I am a dog, I am a dog. I will never have enough reason to run away. I will always wait for you by the door, ready to receive your anger, take it inside me and let it spread carnage within my guts. I am a dog, I am a dog, I am a dog. I will always carry your name in my heart. Until the end of my days, my heart will race at your voice. Everything inside of me will want to respond to your call, run into whatever you open up to me. I am a dog, I am a dog, I am a dog. When I get old, you will throw me out and I will bite once again. It might take me a second to find a second one. One moment. So this one's funny, but it's also about Jesus. But not in the way you expect. Hell yeah. If you're Christian and weirded out by other people's experiences and understandings of your religion, which is totally fine if it's something that's very vulnerable and personal to you, I might recommend not listening to this one, just so you're warned, because I don't know, I've had someone get really upset about me with this poem, and she wasn't even Christian, so that was a little funny. She just thought I was disrespectful for no reason. I would kind of like to fuck Jesus. Have the tongue that praised the scripture run across my sinful body. Have the Lord's Son bury his nails into my skin, filled to the brim with ungodliness, using every bit of me to show the purest men on earth what people go to hell for. Make my body speak for itself. Have it been argument strong enough for him to deny his own father. Let the depths of me become his scripture, the heaven between my legs so much closer than the one his father promises as a reward for obedience. In the end, what is heaven but bliss? And what is bliss but the kiss of a man? I want to feel his long hair tangled between my fingers, hear the sound spill from his mouth that only earthly pleasures can bring out of a man. I think he would be good in bed, desperate to please like a dog, biting, scratching, and thrusting blind by the knowledge held from him for so long. If Jesus is the Son of God and Mary, he too carries Eve's promise in him, the insatiable desire for information and experiences, to taste life, to taste me. What is scripture but an assortment of stories? What is heaven but the lap of a man, the softness of his kisses, his rough hands roaming your body like it's the only thing that matters? I think Jesus would like sex. The little piece of paradise we have on earth, the most earthly of pleasures, a connection to the other animals we put ourselves over, that we play God to. I want to fuck Jesus. Let him be human, be nothing more but a body filled with desire, with pleasure and freedom. Not have to be apostle, not to be the Messiah or God's son, just a man lost in the lips of another. My blasphemic moans will fill his ears like church spells. My fingers and tongue will replace the Holy Spirit inside of him, and he gets to nail me this time. I will kiss and lick his scars, caress him with love and lust, invite him to become something immune to saving, something beyond right or wrong, something after sinful. Our bodies will write new prayers burned deep into each other's skin. I will worship his Father's creation my way. If a man lie with a man like he lied with a woman, he shall be stoned. I'll fuck Jesus high too. Thank you. This has a clip, so that's actually really helpful for the next short person.
Excellent, that was Emmy. My favorite position has always been juxtaposition, so thank you. You're welcome. So, and I'm directing this to the people in the cheap seats across the street and everybody else. It's free to attend in some ways, but you must pay a price. You can't just sit there and receive poetry. You must also transmit with us together. So we're going to pass around this beautiful orange clipboard, and everybody is invited to contribute one line of poetry, and we'll write a poem together, and at the end of the evening we'll read it out. Doesn't that sound like a wonderful experience? So I'm gonna start this way with Adrian, and Adrian's gonna write the first line, and he's gonna pass it on, and it's gonna go as far as Lausitzer Park and come back. And in the meantime, I'd love to have Kyle up for his masterpiece. Kyle, to the stage.
Okay, so this is a story my mother told me, and she heard it from her mother, and her mother heard it from her mother. So let's begin. So once upon a time, and a long time ago, far away, there lived a boy named Jax. Jax was a strange boy, a thoughtful boy, a clever boy, but also a sad boy. Everyone who met him saw that he could never be happy, and that if you gave him a sweet, he would drop it. If you gave him a shirt, he would tear a hole in it. Every single bit of joy was immediately ripped away from him. And some said that he was simply unlucky, that he was born under an unlucky star, that a cat crossed his path when he was born. Some said this was because he had no parents. But whatever the case, he was always unhappy. Jax lived in an old house at the end of a broken road. And one day, a tinker came down this road. So a tinker is like a traveling merchant. A tinker came down this road, which was a bit of a rarity because the road was broken. And Tinker saw Jax sitting on the road and said, "Hello, why are you so sad?" And Jax said, "Well, it just seems that to be happy, one should have something to be happy about, and I don't have anything like this." And Jax said this in such a sad voice that the tinker's heart broke, and he said, well, surely I have something in my packs that'll make you happy. For you see, the tinker had treasures from all over the world, from across the country. He had been on the road his entire life, trading and trading. And so Jack said, if you had something like that, I would be very happy indeed. So, but Jack said, but I have nothing to trade for you other than the house. And the tinker said, well, I would take a house. And Jack said, but what if you have nothing that will make me happy? Will you give me the packs off your back, the cane from your hand, and the hat off your head? And now the tinker knew a good wager when he heard one. And besides, he had all these treasures from around the world. And he was sure he could make one sad boy happy. So he said yes. And they shook on the deal. So the tinker opened his first pack, and inside he brought out a bag of marbles, every color of the rainbow, like starlight. But this didn't make Jax happy. He brought out a cup and a ball, a simple toy, a pocket watch, a knife, but none of these things made Jax happy. And so, outside of his second pack, he brought out more toys. He brought out a many-toothed comb to brush hair with. He brought out a scarf from the other side of the world, spun by silkworms across the world. He brought out jewelry, blue jewelry, but none of these things made Jax happy. And so they spent the whole evening this way, going through his things, trying to find something that he would enjoy. And finally, as the sun was setting, the tinker started to reach for his third pack. And inside of this pack were treasures that he would only show to the wealthiest of clients, to kings, to aristocrats, to truly discerning individuals. And none of them were worth as much of none of them were worth the worth of a house. They're worth much more. But he figured better to lose one thing than to lose everything. So he reached for the third pack, but before he did, Jax pointed at something, a pair of spectacles. And he said, "What's that?" And the tinker said, "Those are spectacles. They help you see better." And so he put the spectacles on Jax's head. And Jax, wearing the spectacles, looked into the sky. And he said, "What are those?" And the tinker said, "Those are stars." And then, suddenly Jax stood still, shocked by what he saw. He pointed and he said, "What is that right there?" And the tinker said, "That's the moon." And Jax said, "I think that would make me happy." And so the tinker was relieved. "Well, you have your spectacles, and I'm glad I found something that will make you happy." But Jax said, "Seeing the moon doesn't make me happy. Just like seeing food doesn't make you not hungry anymore. I want to have the moon." And the tinker said, "Well, I can't do that for you." "Nothing but the moon will do," Jax said. Well, having lost the wager, the tinker gave Jax all 3 packs, and the cane from his hand, and the hat from his head. Before handing over the hat, the tinker asked, "Are you sure you couldn't leave me just my hat? Without anything, I'm going to be poor and alone on the road, and the hat would help." But Jax was ruthless. He said, "You shouldn't have gambled it away if you wanted to keep it." And so, Jax took the packs, but before leaving, gave the tinker the house. And Jax took the packs and wandered the road, always with his eyes on the moon, walking, walking, walking into the mountains and beyond the horizon. Wow. Wait, there's a part 2. Sorry, there's a part 2. Okay. So now, over many years, Jax wandered into the mountains, searching endlessly for the moon. And when he would get tired or hungry, all he had to do was put on this pair of glasses and look at the moon, and suddenly he would feel with strength again, ready to continue his journey. He eventually reached a clearing in the mountains where he saw a cave, and at the foot of this cave was an old man without any shoes on, without any hair. And he went up to the old man and said, "Hello, the old man said, "Hello, what brings you to my corner of the world?" And Jack said, "Well, I'm searching for the moon." The old man said, "That's easy enough. On most nights you can just see her, if it's not cloudy." And Jack said, "No, I don't want to see the moon. I want to catch the moon. I want the moon to be mine." So the old man listened to him and said, "I can tell this is no passing fancy. You've been on this road for a long time." And he brought his ear to Jax's chest and listened and said, "I can hear that your heart is broken and you didn't even get a chance to use it yet." And Jax, feeling awkward, asked, "What's your name?" And the old man said, "Well, I don't mind if you ask, so long as you don't mind if I don't answer. See, if you had my name, then you'd have power over me." And Jack said, "Is that so?" And he said, "Yes, as simple as breathing." So, keeping him as the old man, he asked, he shared some food with Jax, some goat's cheese, some apples, some bread. And eventually Jax asked him, "So what are you doing in this cave?" And the old man answered, "Well, I was chasing the wind, and eventually I came to this place, and it's a good thing for the things I do." "And what is that?" Jax asked. "It's listening. I like to listen to things, and they tell me things." Jack said, so you chased the wind. Did you ever catch her?" And the old man said, "In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no." And Jack asked, "How can you help me catch the moon?" And the old man said, "Well, I can teach you listening, because then you could listen to the moon, and you would understand her down to the bones of her feet." "How long would that take?" Jack asked. "Well, a couple years." And Jack said, "No, I don't want to spend a couple years. I want to catch the moon now." And then the old man said, "Well, that's your problem, you see. You don't want to catch the moon. You just need to meet her. What do you have to offer the moon?" And so Jack said, "Well, I have what I have in these 3 packs." The old man said, "That's not really what I meant, but let's look through them anyways." So then they looked through together through the first 2 packs and found all the things I already told you about, but none of them were particularly interesting or useful for catching the moon. And then they came to the 3rd pack. And in this 3rd pack were golden patterns all over the surface, such that if you tried to follow with your eye would get lost and start following a different line until you went around and around and around. And the old man asked, "So what's inside of this pack?" And Jack said, "I don't know. I've never been able to get it open." And the old man brought the pack to his ear and said, "It says that you spat at it, that you scratched it, that you pried at it with a knife." And Jax was really surprised to hear this because he had done exactly those things. He said, "Like I said, I tried everything." "Well, not everything." And so the old man asked, "Could you please open?" "I'm sorry," he was terribly rude. And so the pack opened. And inside, he took a breath, a gasp at what he saw. Now Jax came over, but he was really disappointed. All he saw was a box, a piece of wood, and a harmonica. He had been hoping for treasures, for gold, for rings, for diamonds that he could use to woo the moon, but none of these things were there. "It just looks like some trash," Jack said. And the old man said, "Trash? How can you say that? Most things whisper at you. These things shout." So they brought out the piece of wood, and Jax asked, "What is this?" And the old man said, "It's a folding house." So Jax opened the house, and suddenly he had 2 planks of wood. And the old man said, "Don't unfold it here, you'll block my light." They came to the second thing, the harmonica. Sorry. And it just looked like a simple harmonica to him. But when Jax brought his lips to it and played a note, suddenly all the birds in the area rested on his shoulders. So it seems it's not any simple harmonica, the old man said. And the third item was a box. He shook it and said, "It's just empty. There's nothing in here." And the old man said, "This thing is empty, but its emptiness screams at you. It's meant to keep things locked away." So, So, having opened the third pack, Jack said, "I must get going. I have to catch the moon." And the old man said, "Are you sure you couldn't stay a little longer? I could teach you how to listen, you know." But being the clever listener he knew when he wasn't being heard. So Jax continued on his journey. He journeyed for many years and many nights, many nights and many days, and then eventually came to a little plateau in the mountains. And on top of this plateau, on a cloudless night, he unfolded the house. He was hoping to be done by the time the moon was at its apex in the sky, but he found he was moving too slow, so he rushed. And because he rushed, the house came out a little broken, a little strange. Some of the stairs were upside down, some doors were replaced with windows. Sometimes it would be winter in one room and spring in the next. But regardless, Jax hurried to the top. He brought out the harmonica, and he played a song. And this wasn't any song. It was a song about his endless years of searching, of trying to be happy, of trying to find the moon. And so, hearing the song, the moon came to him. And for once in his life, he was speechless. And they chatted the whole evening away, talking about his journey, about his wishes, about his dreams. But eventually, the moon looked towards the sky and said, "I must get going." And Jack said, "I've given you 3 things: a home, a song, and my heart. What will you give me? Will you give me 3 things in return?" And the moon said, "Yes. All you have to do is ask." And so Jax asked, "First, I would ask for a touch of your hand." And so the two clasped hands, and at first it felt cold and then warm, and goosebumps spread throughout Jax's body from where they made contact. Secondly, he said, "I would ask for a kiss." And so the moon kissed him. And for the first time in his life, he had the barest hint of a smile. And thirdly, the moon asked, and looking at the moon, Jack saw that her eyes were as clear as a pool of water. Thirdly, Jack said, "I would ask for your name." And the moon said, "Just my name?" "Yes, your name." And so the moon leaned towards Jax and whispered in his ear, "Ludus." And as Jax had the box opened by him, he clasped it shut and said, "Now I have your name. And if I want you to be here so I can be happy, then it must be so." But perhaps he was unlucky, or perhaps he hurried too much, or perhaps he just simply perhaps he was using the box incorrectly. But in any case, he only captured a piece of the moon's name and not the moon's name entire. So the moon was able to escape. But because he has a piece of the moon, it has to come back to Jax's house. And so that is where the moon goes when it's no longer in our sky. And that's where the moon goes when it's no longer in our sky, flitting between our world and Jax's home. And as for whether or not Jax is happy, I think only he can say.
That was Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. And now for someone completely different. Dagmar's up next. Dagmar!
Hello. All right. This is a poem by L.A., and it's called Walking and Falling. I wanted you, and I was looking for you, but I couldn't find you. I wanted you, and I was looking for you all day, but I couldn't find you. You're walking, and you don't always realize it, but you're always falling. With each step you take forward slightly and catch yourself from falling. Over and over, you're falling, and then catching yourself from falling. And this is how you can be walking and falling at the same time.
That was Dagmar. Thank you, Dagmar. Let me consult my book. It's got a list of names. Let's draw some lines through them. Okay, well, we've had Rio, we've had Dagmar, we've had Kyle, we've had Emmy. Oh, we haven't had Winnie. Let's have Winnie. Let's have some Winnie. Winnie!
Hi. Okay, I will read 2 poems, and I'm still deciding right now. Okay, I'll read a poem about the durian. And for those of you who don't know, durians are a spiky fruit that is from Southeast Asia. It's grown in Thailand and Malaysia, and I love this fruit a lot. It's a bit of an acquired taste. Okay, so this poem is called "The Durian is a Queen." Vital, Too Good to Go, Tafel, so many food waste reduction ideas I could introduce to Singapore, but leave it to the homesick. I don't want to live in Singapore, I want to live in Malaysia. Maybe my parents will buy a home there. That durian plantation that my uncle put up for sale, I should have bought that, but I had no money. To farm durians, you need a lot of insecticides. How to keep nature from destroying itself, but that isn't right. Nature doesn't destroy itself. It just goes on its way until humans decide we want to take some spoils for ourselves. Other creatures seek out food where there is, and durians are fucking delicious. Excuse me. Bless the lucky insect that gets to eat them. So delicious, they get high. I want to gorge myself on durian. I love durians, I love nature, but if insecticide allows me to harvest and eat it before nature takes it back for itself, I say I don't want the durian. Insecticide kills us too, but who can resist? I bet the insects are just trying to survive, and when they chance upon durian, they must think, heavens, heaven's so delicious it had to be dangerous. It developed this defense mechanism because it knew it had something inside everyone wants a piece of. They call it the king of fruits, that unapologetic scent. It's spiky shell that kills when it falls on heads, but the durian is a queen. The army green spikes, the fruit gold, luscious inside. Even the vendors don't know how it tastes or if it's infected until they crack it open. They can only guess, smelling the base of the durian, tapping it firmly until someone pays money to own it. Then they take the knife to it and it becomes humble, cracked open, defenseless, juicy fruit flesh ensconced in styrofoam boxes and wrapped with cling wrap sitting outside NTUC in metal baskets. And that was Durian is a Queen. And I have not decided. I guess I will read this poem. It's called At the Conference. And it's self-explanatory. At the conference, feel a flicker of attention outwards as people enter the bus, even though I know there are plenty of seats, concerned if they find a seat, if I should give mine up. Still feel responsible to these total strangers. The programming has been successful. I am a social society citizen. All the conditional things I've said or that have been said to me. Thank you for something specific. I love you because something specific. Would you love me if I stopped doing that? Makes you think. Even conferences use a Spotify playlist. I peek over the sound booth. It's called Smooth Jazz Beats. Not the kind of jazz that calls attention to itself, jazz that is content to be wallpaper, like the kind of music I used to play in a Markthalle. Suddenly, I have an hour to myself. Rest like a body tanning in the sand. Rest like a puddle of spreading yogurt. Rest like a focaccia in second rise. Rest like settling salt dust from an Ashin to Wok Filipino salt egg. Rest like the assuredness of color that knows exactly what it is, azure, periwinkle, emerald green. Rest like the carpet of snow on Tempelhof Field. Rest like a straight back in concert. Rest like the bluest blue, the Eve's Klein blue. Rest like an abandoned mattress on its way to BSR. The floor is scattered with croissant crumbs which will gray into dust. I lack a family recipe. I should get one. All the mistakes made that it could advise me against. Perhaps we all stay alive for the people that love us and the people that we love. The conference is translated into sign language, the impossibility of creating a word for every feeling in the world. That's why we have poetry. That's why readers do something too, carry a bit of interpretation. Time is always running out. Someone on stage declares, "Money will sharpen your idea." Across the hall, I see the cake I took from the buffet and then abandoned. No one has taken it away yet. It sits there, accusing me of my waste. Out on the balcony, bird flying in heavy snow, 1,000 micro explosions in the sky, water popcorning itself into snow. I am in a gigantic snow globe, my own, the only one in the world. Thank you.
That was Winnie. Thank you, Winnie. I was just wondering, so we have some names on our list, but I was just wondering if there were any latecomers who wanted to add themselves, any world-class touring musicians that are currently writing an album that would play a song for us, or any A.S. Fannings, or any of those things. Are you going to do something? Yes! Probably in drop D, though. You might want to.
Hi. Never been so nervous in my life. It's a tough gig. I really can't play any of my new songs because I don't remember any of the words yet, but I'll play another one. Can you hear the guitar at all? You know, I'm happy to be your friend till the leaves or the stars descend. But I'm there, I'm here, and I'm 16, standing holding 2 cans of beer, or I'm sleeping on your floor. I don't wanna hate myself no more, but I'm worlds from that. 32 years old in a Berlin flat. But if I could keep one moment in my mind, right now you know it's you I'd find, and love you tonight for all time. Love you tonight for all time. Time is a thief, always hanging round. It'll take anything that ain't nailed down. Well, of course I'm scared. Everything will be lost that has not been shared. But I'm in some future that's fading slow. Late night talking with the music low. Does the past still sting? Well, don't worry, someday we'll forget everything. But a walk out in the moonlight sounds just fine. Won't talk about tomorrow or pretend you're mine. Just love you tonight for all time. Love you tonight for all time. My hand still isn't working very well. Doing my best. You know I'm happy to be your friend till the night of the world should end. But I'm there, I'm here, and I'm 16, standing holding 2 cans of beer, or I'm in a future that's fading slow. Late night talking with the music low. Does the past still sting? Well, don't worry, someday we'll forget everything. But a walk out in the moonlight sounds just fine. Won't talk about tomorrow or pretend you're mine. Just love you tonight for all time. Love you tonight for all time. Thank you.
That was Mr. A.S. Fanning. Perhaps Sam would give us a poem. Sam. I'm going to ask Santa Claus for a new mic stand, I promise.
Hello. I read this for somebody yesterday, and he said it needs work. So I'm not very confident. I didn't know, I found it about 3 days ago, and I must have written it when I had writer's block. And I was always told, when you've got writer's block, to write about writer's block. So it's a very frustrated poem, and I'm very hard on myself, but I don't feel that way now, so don't worry about me too much. Okay, it's called Draft 1. The cliché on the tongue becomes a hall of mirrors, the sense of sense tentative, barely there. I had a line once, a washing line between two certainties, that meant little once, and now means more amid the arid scroll of not very much at all. I used to improvise, and though I came away with sometimes little at all, I felt I'd expelled all the air from my body, and that I was ready to be rolled into a suitcase and flung on some forever patch between assorted factories. A Samsonite confessional for one, holding Schrodinger's twat. Thank you very much.
Sam, that was barely a taste of your powers. Well, let me consult my list of victims here. No, that's it. That's everybody we have. So there really remains... so now Daniel in brackets has become Daniel without brackets. He casts aside the brackets and joins the stage.
So after you pretended it's a story from your mother, I decided I share something where I'm part 3 in the chain of narration in my family's narrative line. So it's a story about the question whether there are angels or not. So this story goes about there might be. So the story is my grandma at some point goes to this wood near the village where they live, and she goes for a walk with a baby, which is my father. And it's a wood in South Germany, it's black forest. And the black forest has a characteristics which is called Klinge, which is like the part of the knife that cuts. So it cuts very sharply because the water cuts this thing throughout centuries, and so down there there's a very thin line, but up it's open. So the mistake she did was she would get very close to the edge of this, just with a walk on with her baby on the arms. And what happened was a very particular slide. So where she was standing, the whole thing started to slide, and she would face about 80 meters down. So if she would move, she and the baby would slide into a mix of water and rocks. Really, really dangerous. Cut. In the same village, there's a guy who doesn't know them, who comes back. It's 4 PM. He did his work, and that's a very particular element of the story. He asked his wife, we're talking 60s, for a Campari orange, and he decides to sit in the garden in front of the house, white house, nice garden, and have his Campari orange while his wife prepares dinner. For some reason that he never could tell, he decides to leave the Campari and to get up and to walk, rather run, very fast into the wood. My grandma was very Christian. She would pray because she couldn't move back and she couldn't move forwards. She had her baby in her arms, and if she would move and try to go to the safe grounds, she would fall. So she thought her own option is to pray. This guy runs, and he finds them somewhere, and he told them afterwards, I wouldn't know why I would run. And he helps them out. And that's a story that is being narrated in my family, saying that everyone could be an angel and afterwards not be able to tell why. Thank you. However, because this is about poetry, I'm sharing with you the only poem that I know by heart. It's a bit cross, it's a bit not so PC. However, it's a great German philosopher. You might guess him afterwards. I think it's 4 lines. Thank you for the music. No, he would have preferred Wagner for it. Thank you so much for the playback. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ja. Oh, it's in German. Ja, ich weiß, woher ich stamme. Ungesättigt, gleich der Flamme. Glühe und verzehr ich mich. Licht wird alles, was ich fasse. Kohle alles, was ich lasse. Flamme bin ich sicherlich. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel, without the brackets. I believe we have a further musical performance. Is Nasia going to sing a song? Nasia? Yeah. We're going to clap you all the way here. I'm keeping going. Let's go.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I am a tourist in Berlin. I've been here for the past 3 days. Nice to see you. It's my first time I experienced something like that. I come from Athens, Greece. My friend Piggy brought me here tonight to listen to Zoe's poem. And then Daniel showed up just 15 minutes ago, asking me to sing something. I'm a jazz singer, but he asked me to sing something in Greek. So I will try to remember a Greek song and dedicate it to you. And thank you for the nice evening. So the song that comes to my mind is called in Greek "Αγάπη που γίνεις δίκοπο μαχαίρι." It means love that you became a double sharp knife. Okay. So I will sing it on my own. I have no musician, so give me one moment to think how we'll start. Αγάπη που γίνες δίκοπο μαχαίρι, κάποτε μου δίνες μόνο τη χαρά, μα τώρα πνίγεις τη χαρά στο δάκρυ. Δεν βρίσκω άκρη, δεν βρίσκω γιατριά, μα τώρα πνίγεις τη χαρά στο δάκρυ. Δεν βρίσκω άκρη, δεν βρίσκω γιατριά. Φώτιες ανάβουνε μες στα δυο σου μάτια, τα αστέρια πέφτουνε όταν με θωρεί. Σβήστε τα φώτα, σβήστε το φεγγάρι, Sa θα με πάρει το πόνο μου μύδι. Σβήστε τα φώτα, σβήστε το φεγγάρι. Σα θα με πάρει τον πόνο μου μύδι. Dankeschön. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope we'll meet again. Thank you.
Nasya, thank you so much. That was lovely.
Thank you.
So there's only one thing left to do, and that is for Zoe to read out the poem that we've all written together, which we must be super excited about. Yeah, okay. You gonna do that? All right, let's Zoe and all of our work. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what we all write together. Okay. It's a long story. Shall I hold it for you? No one is coming to save us. Please start without me. I'm busy living my life. Which is perhaps living a poem that only in some special instance appears to rhyme. Everything is disappearing. Everything is getting smaller. How long is the story? Encounters on a summer's night, with strangers on a square. Salty words whirl and sail. You have to suffer if you want to sing the blues. Cut the suffering and run! The blues is life. It's not the world that's heavy, just the things that we save.
You have to burn to shine.
I've got the blisters in my fingers.
You have to burn to shine.
I've got the blisters in my fingers. Yeah.
Apparently you're not off the hook just yet. So yeah, before we break things up, Daniel wants to make a neighborhood announcement. Otherwise, I would just say thanks very much. It's been a fun first open mic situation on Lausitzer Platz. I think it was such a roaring success that we'll have to come back next month. I expect you all to be there again. It's like a contract that we've signed now together through eye contact, so you can't get out of it. And we'll keep doing it until the Ordnungsamt tell us otherwise. Daniel with the Verbon.
Yeah. This is outside the frame of poetry, but it's still about art and about action, like art in daily life. So I just want to share something with you that I happened to experience, when we returned here in the afternoon, and which has already disappeared. So unlike poems, this was really for a moment, so rather theater. But it's really about the park, which is Görlitzer Park. And I just thought I'd share this with you. So can you see this? This is a photo of a green staircase. And like around 5 o'clock, people were invited to walk to walk up the staircase, crossing the wall of Görlitzer Park, and then walk it down on the other side. 2 traveling carpenters had made this today, and due to German law and order and rule of law, it had to be removed again. Now it's gone, but at 5 it was there. So we would all do it like a procession, walk up and walk down. And the slogans on the left and on the right of it are quite interesting, because at least it says defense girly, which means there shouldn't be a fence around it. There are walls around it, but just to tell you, the walls are going to be removed if Berlin's mayor will succeed, and will be replaced by fences which will be 2.5 meters high, and they will be lighted, like there will be lights on it as if it would be a borderline. And the toughest of all things, and there will be, you will be able to get out during the night, but you cannot enter anymore until the morning. That means anyone who uses the park, just crossing it on a bike, cannot do this unless the gates will open. And The toughest thing is that almost all bushes and trees that are at the moment around the walls of Görlitzer Park will be de-rooted, not just cut, de-rooted. So it's about really taking out all that stuff and really removing what is there in terms of plants, and that also means sending away what is there in terms of animals. So I just wanted to share this. When I was there, the carpenters who set it up, they were asked to remove it now due to the police. And so it was a very poetic action to put the steps, because it was not about cutting the fence, it was just about saying, you make fences, we build staircases. And we think of any fences on the world, and we think where fences are, there should be steps to go above them and go past them on the other side. And as you hear, I just say, if you don't have anything to do tomorrow, go to Lohmühle at 2 o'clock. You know where Lohmühle is? It's at the other end of Görlitzer Park. And there will be a lot of activities in the park between 2 and 6 tomorrow to sort of explore the park. There will be a lot of guided tours and stuff, and some sort of a hide and seek game as the closing action for the action week that they had done to make sure that the fence will not build. Thank you for your attention.
Look, that's really it. Have you no homes to go to? All right, I'm switching off.
You're listening to Radio On Berlin at Lausitzer Platz, the first open mic event here in the summer of 2024. Join us again next month. It will return. For any more information, visit www.radioonberlin.com, and this will also go out as a podcast on all the major platforms. Thank you for listening. Good night.
Mickey Mouse.
We're also offering Adrian's cat to rent. If anyone has a problem with rats in their apartment.
You got it, kid?
You have been listening to Radio on Berlin. Yeah!